Just like the mighty phoenix rising from the ashes, or Jesus pranking the Romans by resurrecting 3 days after his crucifixion, Nintendo has brought back its greatest console. It's coming back to life. It's alive! It's alive! And no, we're not talking about the NES Classic. That one, like God, is still very much dead. But Nintendo has sent down NES's only begotten son to save us all and sacrifice itself for our sins by playing the games we want to play from the best era of gaming, the 90s!
Here we go!
No, you fucking cuck!
Peggy 18.
Last week we reported on the fact that Nintendo had killed off what was probably their greatest product in years, which was just a reboot of the original NES. It was the NES Classic, but it looks like taking that short-lived product off of retailer shelves was only to make more room for their next big reveal, the SNES Classic.
SNES?
SNES, Super Nintendo. Just when we thought Nintendo had gone off the deep end and had made their stupidest decision yet, they go and they totally redeem themselves.
This hog gets 30 miles to the gallon. Sure, the original NES had some pretty great games on it.
Sure.
And so, of course, the NES Classic had some great games preloaded onto it as well. Super Mario Bros. 1 and 3, the charming abomination that is Super Mario Bros. 2, Excite Bike, Kirby's Adventure, Castlevania, Ninja Gaiden, and the first 2 Zelda games. Not a bad lineup of classics at all, everyone. It was a decent system, but for most of us, and certainly a large amount of people like you who dare to watch this show, our childhoods, they were molded more by the NES's next of kin, the Super Nintendo.
It's like the Nintendo, but more super.
It's more super.
Well, guess what? Now Nintendo is allegedly bringing that shit back to take over where the original classic left off. Still, we should remind you that you could just go and get a Raspberry Pi and be done with it and have every game ever made.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the SNES. This news comes to us from Eurogamer. Hello. They reported that according to their sources, the Super Nintendo Classic is currently scheduled to launch in time for Christmas this year, and that development of the device is already underway.
We are very happy here in Europe. The next question would be, which games will be available on this SNES Classic console? Especially since if it's like, I don't know, anything like its predecessor, you're only going to get what comes on it initially. There's not going to be new updates for it. I mean, that would be great if they did, but they didn't do it for the first one. So what will this console have? Well, the first obvious answer should be the Battletoads Double Dragon crossover. But I'm not going to hold my breath, even though it was the greatest game. We're sure that Nintendo, they'll want to get a good portion of their best-selling proprietary titles on there as well. So let's just assume that they'd go for that. Here's what we think has a very good chance of popping up on this new old system, the SNES Classic.
So obviously Super Mario World, Super Mario Kart, Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2.
Donkey
Kang, Star Fox, Legend
Do
of
a
Zelda,
barrel roll.
Zelda Link to the Past, Killer Instinct, F-Zero, Aladdin, NBA Jam.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and Street Fighter 2 Turbo. Those are the big guns.
A lot of those games really kickstarted huge franchises that have gone on to do great things.
You're goddamn right. And those are just the titles that we think would be a good idea to include on this system. Even looking at just our list gets us excited for this console because we're old. And those games were all pretty incredible to us when we were growing up, at a time we still go back to in our darkest moments.
F-Zero, I was like, this is what 2017 is going to be like.
Yeah. Can you believe these graphics?
Now we just watch memes all day.
3D. And the main thing Nintendo should focus on with this release out of everything else is making sure that the fucking controller cable is longer than 2 fucking feet this time.
Or 1 meter if you're Eurogamer.
Yeah, that shit was ridiculous
It's like
on
3
the
feet
NES
for a
Classic.
meter, whatever.
Like, are they trying to make us relive the experience of having to sit 2
right
inches
next-
away from the goddamn TV on
I'm
the floor?
gonna go blind. My
Yeah,
parents told
it's
me.
bad for your eyes.
But enough about the past. Let's talk about the games that are out now and the innovative people across the world who spare their time and energy to make those games even better than anyone could have ever hoped. How do they do this, you ask? Easy. They are the ones who make it possible for your characters to fuck and suck each other in extremely explicit and downright naughty ways. Spank. Anime fetish enthusiast forum Kotaku recently wrote an article detailing the apparent lucrative art of modding hardcore sex into the most recent Sims game. In their reporting, they talked to someone who goes by the moniker Turbo Driver, who is currently bringing in $4,100 a month developing a sex mod called Wicked Whims. which allows your characters to go from a simple woohoo to hardcore anal sex and letting you come wherever you damn well please.
Wow.
But that's not all. No, sir, it isn't. There are multiple positions, seemingly endless options and scenarios, and even a sex scenario that we never even thought of because it's impossible. You can get a blowjob, a reverse blowjob, from a ghost. We can't really show it to you in detail, but it's basically the female spirit is putting her head through the ass of a Sims character and sucking his dick back and forth from base to tip. So it's like, say I'm the Sims guy, her head's right here facing that way, and she's sucking it from the back.
Wow.
A literal mindfuck.
Didn't know it was my fetish,
That
but
sounds
it's my
expensive.
fucking fetish.
I have a new fetish, and that's it.
Yeah, but reverse ghost blowjobs, they're not even the tip of the iceberg for this modder. He's willing to create almost anything that the minds of his Patreon donators can cook up within reason. From the interview with Kotaku, I observed players asking for more specific BDSM interactions, more robust panty options, and added layers of cum.
Despite all that, there is a level of realism that he's trying to achieve as well. You can't just fuck anything. There has to be certain levels of desire. And he's apparently hard at work developing and fine-tuning this aspect.
Can you shit on people?
I'm not sure yet.
Can you? Golden showers have to be in.
What about a blumpkin?
Golden shower's the hottest sex position of the last year.
Yeah,
It's gotta be in there.
Yeah. If not, I'm sure it's coming soon. Here's another snippet from the article. In Turbo Driver's ideal mod, Sims can have sex of their own free will, so to speak. The problem is making sure the feature follows the rules of the game world. Sims have personalities, likes and dislikes, and Wicked Whims defines Sims with more granularity. You might have a Sim who hates condoms.
Whoa.
Another one with a specific gender preference, or one that loves cum slut, in the words of Wicked Whims. The hookups would have to fit with those desires.
Yeah, no, it's not. You guys, this isn't just a sex mod where you can go wild all willy-nilly.
She has to want loads of cum on her face.
This isn't Vietnam, there are rules.
Yeah, exactly.
It continues.
Dictated by, of course, the Gaming Geneva Convention.
Yes. It continues. Sims can't just like each other or randomly decide. There has to be a reason, Turbo Driver said of this ideal automated version of modded Sim sex. A lot of things have to work. The situation, location, time of day, nearby Sims, and if they're even into it. Consent is key.
Yes.
To
If
achieve-
your Sim wants to walk around with jizz all over his or her shirt
That's
in the
what I'm
daytime,
into.
That's
Woohoo
fine.
doodly-doo.
But they have to want it.
Yeah.
They have
so
to ask for it.
To achieve that vision, Turbo Driver is trying to implement something called desire, which dictates how likely a Sim is to ask for sex and how much they might enjoy it.
Woohoo!
He's still working out the specifics of how it functions, but the short of it is that modeling convincing yet satisfying models for relationships is actually really damn hard. Even the actual developers of The Sims 4 haven't gotten it right, as it's pretty easy to force Sim pairs regardless of personality differences.
It's a complex algorithm that he is hard at work on.
I mean, the guy's breaking new ground.
I know.
It
And
sounds more complex than the YouTube algorithm.
you're not supposed to exist in this universe until we call you in, so just...
Is this Weekly Word News?
Oh, fuck. I guess we should explain ourselves. We recorded Weekly Weird News right before this.
Bust.
Oh! Let's just pull back the veil here and...
Keep this in.
Yeah, we're keeping it. Keep
Gold.
This in. Make sure you keep this in the edit. Oh, what should we go to next? Party time, the United thumbnail,
T.U.G.S.
Tugs.
Or Beppis, I like Beppis.
Yeah, we'll go with Beppis.
Okay.
It is a real background.
Nice
Anyways,
green
back
screen.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the guy with the Sims mod. We can't really fault him for adding this extra layer of reality to a game that's essentially a life simulator. Real people have kinks, real people fuck, and real people probably want a reverse ghost blowjob once they find out that it exists. I know I do. And a nice, warm, salty Beppis. That's my kink. It's my fetish. Some people are good at making deals. I'm good at drinking Beppis. So all of his work, it's honestly just enhancing the game, especially since it's not just an outright sex simulator like Mass Effect. You have to have consent in Sims. And we all know, aliens can't give consent.
Nope.
Mass Effect, they're breaking all the rules.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But let's move on from talking about cum and sex to the complete opposite of that. Esports.
Yeah.
Esports might finally get the respect it so deservedly needs in order to feel legitimate, because it was recently announced that the Olympic Council of Asia, where else, will be allowing esports to become a medal event at the 2022 Asian Games. Yes, you will be able to get an Olympic medal in gaming. Not just some shitty X Games medal made out of chocolate with foil wrapping. No, a legit Olympic medal. Here's a statement from the Asian Olympic Council, or the OCA. The OCA has always been committed to the inheritance, development, and improvement of Asian sports. We look forward to the forward-thinking concepts of sports by Ali Sports, who will be helping us with their strength and experience in esports, adding that the decision reflects the rapid development and popularity of this new form of sports participation among the youth, aka people who are bored of watching people throw stones and jump over things. Let's play video games instead.
It's a good idea. I like it.
And with a nice warm baptism.
The official sponsor of the Esports Olympics. Real quick before Shibby completely railroads us off topic and into another drunken rant, Twitch just added a few more subscription options so that you can invest in your favorite streamers. You can now subscribe at $5, $10, or $25 a month, each of which unlocks new exclusive features and emotes for the channel you're subscribing to. And since YouTube is fucking dying, we decided, hey, why don't we just start a channel on Twitch and upload over there too? So we did. It's ETC_show. You can't subscribe with money to us or anything yet, but we're gonna be streaming and uploading videos like T.U.G.S over there in addition to our YouTube pages. We're not gonna stop it over here. We're just gonna put it out there and see how it does on Twitch. So if you're into Twitch and you'd rather follow us there, you hate coming to YouTube, we'll leave a link in the description below so you can follow our page over on Twitch.
Okay,
But,
now we can let Shibby in, who looks a lot thinner this week after giving birth last Saturday.
What's the name? What's its name? Giraffe McGiraffe face?
Neck McLong neck.
Bud boys and bud girls.
It's April 21st today, dumbass.
This week I have returned after that knockoff Texan Phil Dorito finger licking good limbs proportionally sized shibby criminal motherfucker snaked his way into reviewing one of the worst remakes of the year. Well, you Pokemon, Weedle smoking, Crunchyroll watching anime fuckboys need to listen up because this week the nostalgia boners are back, and this time through Kickstarter. But Shibby!
Woo?
Week. I thought I had told you to be wary of such Hillary Clinton Ponzi scheme scam operations, and you won't listen. Look, it's not ethical, I'm well aware. Banjo-Kazooie on the N64, I mean ukulele on all modern platforms for the bargain bin price of $40 is the hottest release in the last week other than that load in your lucky sock. Gross, I know. Much like the lacking soundtrack, poor camera controls, repetitive reskinned enemies in this wannabe 1998 game. It does not surprise me that key members from the original team at Rare would start another studio, Playtonic Games, much like Hello Games.
Hello!
Both located in England, roll safe meme, to trick you into backing their Kickstarter. The initial goal of this Kickstarter was 175,000 British pounds. More than the haters' mothers I am awfully familiar with. Broke that goal in 38 minutes. It then hit 1 million pounds within 21 hours, making it the fastest video game in Kickstarter history to reach a mil.
But Brexit.
For you console plebs, or Nintendo fanboys, who are defending this game, realize the reason this game sucks is not the lack of funds. It's simply a bad game pulling your nostalgia boner heartstrings. For any game to hire JonTron to voice a character, and not me, it should be criminal. I, for one, would never say such things, and viewer, if I did, no one would understand it except those Tug boys who are so deep eating ass they can't speak anyway.
Shibby fans eat ass.
Everyone knows that Gex, Enter the Gecko, was also released in 1998, was a much better game, and than Banjo-Kazooie, and was both low energy and lamestream media, speaking of Banjo.
Fake news.
Overall, a repolished game from the 90s that broke Kickstarter records should not suck this much. It simply makes no sense other than incompetence. I must give this game a 0 out of 1 million.
Well, since we can't really pull an Amazon review for Banjo-Kazooie, we will use the review from Rare Replay. It's a release that came out for current gen consoles, which featured Banjo-Kazooie among other games. This one comes from Big Bungo, who titled his review, Old Games Equal Fail. They wrote this.
These are old games, not new. Why is it on the Xbox? Fail, 1 star.
That says it all, doesn't it, folks?
Real gamer.
Yeah, I guess maybe the Super Nintendo Classic, probably not a good idea after all, long as Bungo's involved.
Yeah.
Oh well, watch our recent live streams, including the one yesterday where we played Sports Friends with our pal Chimney Swift. and we'll see you next time.
Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chimney.